I have to give you a harsh reality. If you are autistic, you're probably unattractive. And I'm not necessarily saying that you look bad or that you have bad genetics, but you are still unattractive in other ways. So let me explain. Because when I was in high school, I used to think that I was at least decent looking, but now looking back at my younger self, I realize I was not that good looking, and I look better now because I have kind of looks maxed and I am still on a looks maxing journey. And so I look better now, but I am still not getting the results and the treatment of like an attractive Chad. I'm not getting the treatment that I would like to have from especially the opposite gender. And something that I have then realized from my observations is that looks don't really matter. I mean, they matter to some extent, but they don't matter as much as people make it out to be. Because there are a lot of guys that don't look very good, that look worse than me, that are more successful with women than me. A good example is all the soy boys. Look at, for example, Nick is Not Green, Jake Doolittle, Ethan is Online, Hunter Avalon. I mean, Hunter Avalon, he managed to lose his virginity and become a father of 2 children in his early 20s with his wife, and then he divorced that wife. And back then, because I was so insecure and I was so like narcissistic, I used to look at Hunter Avalon and I was like, well, he can at least only attract 1 woman. Right now I can attract 0 women, but, give me time and in a few years, I will attract more women than him. But guess what? He has a new girlfriend now. So this soy boy managed to attract more than 1 woman. And pretty much all those soy boys, like, they don't look really good. I'm pretty sure I mog them, at least looks-wise. And yet they are more successful with women than me. And how is that possible? And some people say that personality matters more than looks. And people usually say this thing that, oh, it's not your looks that pulls women away, it's your personality. Women are repulsed by your personality. You have good looks, but it's your personality that scares women away. To that, I say it's cope. It's unfortunately cope. And we can look once again at the soy boys, because you'd think that they at least make up for their lack of looks with a good personality, but no, their personality is not much better. Like, those soy boys have been enrolled in a bunch of controversy. Like, Ethan is Online, for example, he once had this infamous incident where he instructed Nick is Not Green to basically fabricate horrible lies about this group called Super Mega, and then the Super Mega group got unfairly cancelled, and Ethan is Online celebrated their cancellation with his girlfriend while they were smoking weed. And Jake Doolittle is not much better. He once roasted this YouTuber named Orange Peanut, and he just made the worst arguments imaginable.
Yes, they do. I
Yes,
went
they
through
do.
a bulk and a cut.
You know, making fun of my speech isn't very woke of you. It's not very politically correct. This is the exact same thing that Nick is Not Green did. He made fun of my stutter. I don't know why, but all these people who preach like acceptance, political correctness, wokeness, they do the same things at the end of the day. It's just they only do it when it benefits them and they know their audience is gonna like it. Everybody is a piece of shit at the end of the day. It's just a matter of how.
And then you look at all the rappers out there that are or have been successful with women, such as NBA Youngboy and XXXTentacion. Their personalities were shit. A lot of them were like criminals who abused drugs, and for example, NBA Youngboy is behind bars now as far as I know. So this shows that you can have a shit personality and not that good looks and still be successful with women. And so I was confused because I was like, looks wise, I mog many of those people. And my personality is definitely also better than the personality of many of those people. So why are those other people more successful with women? But one day I received this really interesting comment under one of my old YouTube videos. What the looks makers get wrong is that it's typically not about your looks, it's about your look. It means that it is about how your nervous system carries the skin puppet it controls. Have you ever seen a corpse and you could see that it's dead? It still has the same looks as a living person, but it's clear that it's dead. The same goes with attractiveness. If your body does not radiate confidence because it doesn't know what confidence is, you will look bad even though there's nothing wrong with you. And basically what this comment means is that autism does not affect like the genetic makeup of your amazing body that makes your amazing body possibly look good, but it affects the nervous system that controls this amazing body with this amazing genetic makeup. Basically what I have discovered is that arguably the most important factor in terms of being attractive, it's not your looks and it's not your personality, but it is your body language. The people that are able, the men that are able to attract women are not necessarily men that look better than me or have a better personality than me, but they have better body language. When you are autistic, your body language will usually suck. You will, for example, do things like stimming, or you will do a bunch of repetitive movements to like get rid of excess body language. That scares women off. You might also be looking down constantly to like avoid getting sensory overload from all the stuff that is going on here. That comes off as insecure to women, and that makes women also not be attracted to you. And some people also claim that autism does indeed affect like how you look physically. Like one comment I received under one of my videos said, "From how I see it, many autists are simply underdeveloped, lack male dimorphism and female dimorphism, and usually we have notable features such as eyes being further apart or having longer faces." I personally don't believe in this. Like, I am diagnosed with autism, and I don't think I look autistic. Maybe I looked autistic here, but not now when I started looks maxing. I don't think I lack sexual dimorphism or any of that, and I don't think you would be able to tell that I am autistic just by looking at me at like a still image. However, I do have a personal explanation to why autistic people might look worse. I mean, there is like a study that showed how something that looks are correlated with like autistic traits, and people with that had more autistic traits usually had less masculine and feminine features on like their face, and they looked less attractive. I personally have an explanation to that. You see, I personally think that your looks are not really affected by your genetics. It's more affected by your lifestyle. And autistic traits basically dictate your lifestyle, that in turn dictates how you end up looking. And so I think that is the other reason why many autistic people are unattractive. For example, you have to eat healthy and go to the gym if you want to look good. But many autistic people, for example, have this like selective eating where they are very picky eaters. They will only eat a specific type of food, which usually is like junk food. And some autistic people, they only want to eat junk food, and as a result they end up looking bad. They end up like becoming morbidly obese and stuff like that because of that, and that's how they lose that sexual dimorphism in like their face. Also, many autistic people refuse to go to the gym because they don't want to put their bodies through like that pain, because they don't want that sensory overload that they feel if they work out. So some autistic people also never gain muscle. And also something I brought up earlier, when you look down a lot because you don't want to get sensory overload from all the stuff that's going on here, you kind of have a slouched neck, and you basically, it affects you the same way it affects all the people that are on their phone all the time. When your head is tilted like this 24/7, then you end up getting like a recessed jawline, so you lose a masculine like dimorphism in here as well. So I think that is actually correlated to lifestyle rather than just being diagnosed with autism. And so I think my philosophy is that the reason why 99% of autistic men are unattractive is usually because they have horrible body language, and because they indulge in a lot of activities that renders them unattractive, and those activities usually are there because of autism and autistic traits. So personally, what I'm trying to do is, for example, I'm trying to work on my body language right now so I come off less awkward and less unattractive. And I'm also trying to get rid of autistic traits that might render me unattractive. So I am, for example, trying to look up more rather than look down at the ground all the time.
Вижу твой взгляд, степенно горят. Мог тебя взять, но ты не моя.